so let's jump into some cases. So everyone should have the toys case up there. I'd love that everyone just kind of, watch a few things. There's a few things that are really critical. Fortunately, I've got a pretty small projector up here to have all 5 windows. All right, so this is, when I'm planning cases, this is my favorite view. This is called the tangential 5. You can find this up in the view tabs. This gives you all your views. Some people might find it a little cumbersome, but I like working in this tangential 5 view here. So if you go up, view, you've got your 3D or your under perspectives. It's F4 is the hot button here. So this tangential 5 gives you all these views. So I wanted to go through this case here, and we're going to start. So remember, we got to pick our module. We're up here in the advanced surgical guide module. Man, this is a small screen. Jeez. All right. So, and I've got this case already set up for you guys. So it's already stitched in here. It's I've got the cone beam in, and I've got the iteros already stitched. I like to go in, once I get everything in, I like to hide my my DICOM, the STL, because that thing just kind of slows everything down having that in there. And once you have it stitched, you really don't need that cone beam filling up your lower left section here. The key thing that I want to talk about today is how do we digitally extract teeth simply and predictably? Because that's something that I get questions about all the times. How do I digitally extract teeth and get the guide tubes out of the way? Because as you can see here, check it out. One of the goals that we have here is how do we expose the middle of our guide tubes all the way around in our model so that when it builds a guide, it's actually got the guide tube plastic in there. So we're going to do this. You can see we left her canines and second molars. And remember, it's the inner portion of the guide tube that is critical. So don't get hung up that the outer portion of the guide tube is running into the model. Look in your inner portion of the guide tube, and it's all there. So I want everybody to kind of watch me here. If you want to do it, you can. But one of the things that I'm going to do, oh my gosh, is I am going to do, so you can see this is where she started, right? So when we turn on the, oh my gosh. So this is where we started. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this model. I've got a terrible resolution up here on the screen that I was not expecting, so it's very difficult for me to see like where I'm at. But
There you go. What module is that? What panel is that?
So we are in the surfaces panel here. And I'm going to just blow this up and see if I can get it better. But we're in the surfaces panel on the right. The surfaces panel shows me all my loaded STLs in the case. So I want to show you guys how I digitally extract the teeth. Because we kind of did this, but this is super important to do. So what I'm going to do is I went ahead and I duplicated my upper, I'm going to duplicate my upper itero scan here. All right, so let's say I duplicated it twice, so I'm going to do, all right. So this is a fresh itero scan, and I want to show you guys the quick way to alter the model. So what I like to do is I like to go change your module to model editing. And we're going to go on the panels to the right, we're going to go to model edit. And we're going to have the correct model selected. And then we're going to turn on my selection brush. And you guys are fine just to kind of watch this here if you want to watch it. If you want to do it, go for it. But I get a nice selection size here. And I'm going to go all the way, let me see here. Turn this up. I'm going to go around and I'm going to select the whole base of the tooth here. So I'm holding shift. And I'm selecting the base of the tooth. So we're just going to do one tooth here. And you don't have to get too picky with it, but I like to select the base of this tooth here. I'm holding down Shift, and I'm clicking and dragging, and I'm outlining the tooth, just the base of it. So I've just outlined the whole base of the tooth. I'm gonna make sure it's completely filled in. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut the selected area. And now it just made a hole all the way around the tooth. And what that allows me to do now is shift and double click this rest of this tooth, and all it does is select the remaining portions of the tooth. It's a quick way to delete your tooth, okay? So now we're gonna cut this away, and now I've got a hole in the model. And I still need it to be watertight, so I'm gonna close the hole. So I'm gonna select the hole here. I'm gonna do select holes manually, and I'm gonna select it, and I'm gonna close selected holes. Now, what this did is it just removed the tooth, which is great, and it closed the model, but where's my guide tube? The guide tube is still under the model. So this is what I wanted to show you guys, and I think I'm gonna record a video and send it all to you guys too, because this is really important for doing immediate implants.
Happened to me the other day.
Yeah.
I was calling you.
Yep.
That kept. I'm like,
This is a pain in the butt for all of us when you're starting out with this. It's a huge
annoying,
pain.
but yes.
Yep, it's a huge pain in the butt. So this is what I found to be the simplest approach. So if we go back and please forgive this horrible.
Should we do the projector? What do you think?
If you can figure out the projector and how to get that down, I don't know where the remote went, but normally we have this projector here.
Yeah, 'cause it's very hard to see
It
from
just
back there.
plugs into the wall, and it should be here and on. We just would have to pull down the screen.
Yeah.
Let's probably just do that at
Because you
once.
guys know,
Let us do that.
he's clicking, right? Yeah.
No,
We've only got half an hour to lunch, though. Probably just do it over lunch, right?
Let's do it over lunch.
Yeah, let's just work
So-
with it after.
Okay, guys, so this is important. So
Just grab me if you need
what I like to do is select the implant that you're wanting to get this model edited. So this is this posterior right implant number 3. Now, this is the key view up here. This key view is up here, and when I roll my mouse here, it's rolling around the implant. And that's really important because I'm getting a spin around this implant here.
Why use such puny implants, you wuss?
I know, right? Kind of because I just want to like fit it through the guide tube.
Is that why? Yeah, exactly. Your bone here is massive.
That's
dude.
right, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously this could support an 8mm implant. This ridge is humongous, but you're limited to go fully guided with up to 5s. So one of the things that I want to point out is, do you see this green outline here? Can you guys see that? That green outline, that's called the outline or the hint. And that's an outline of my model. Now, what I want to do is I want to turn off, see on the right, see how it says hints? So in your surfaces panel, visible means the model is going to show up. Hint means the outline is going to show up. The cool thing about this outline is it allows us to manipulate the model with the outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all the outlines except for my model here. So do you see right here this green line? That's where my model is, and that's where I need it to be, below that guide tube. So once you have that hint turned on, if you guys see in model editing, the very bottom of model editing is called this Model Outlines Editing Tool. So I can actually manipulate my outline and it'll manipulate my model. So what you do is you click Move Outlines, and you want to get an outline size that's about the size of the inner portion of your guide. So let's just say here, okay? So this green line under my mouse is the outline of my model currently, and I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to take this green line and I'm going to drag it, and do you see how it kind of invaginates it? I'm going to invaginate it up to past my guide tube. And then now this is a 2-dimensional view, right? So I'm editing it in 2-dimensional view. All I got to do is rotate this a little bit. and do it a little more. So I'm just dragging this mostly to get it up. Doesn't have to be way past, but I'm going to manipulate it so as I roll this around, that this invagination of this green outline goes around my guide tube where I like it. Now, I'm rolling around, there we go, okay? So now, watch what it did. When I go back to my view, check it out. You guys see what I just did there? You remember how this guide tube was totally buried under my model? I basically created a socket. Because now I can see all the inner portion of my guide tube, right? I should take maybe a little more off of here, and I would go back and do that. But essentially what I did is I just exposed my guide tube as if I had a socket. Now, when I build a guide, it's going to incorporate that guide tube into the guide, and it's going to take it down into that area. So this is what you do for an immediate implant. Cut the tooth off, then edit the outline and do it in that view, that upper right view, so that you're syncing that outline up above the guide tube, and it'll actually in real time edit your model and create a socket without any complex work. So quick, easy way to do it. Does anybody not understand the concept of that? You're using a two-dimensional view of the outline of your model, and you're adjusting it, and it does it in real time in a 3D world. So I'm going to do probably another video and send that out to you guys on just this, because this right here is the most common problem that I see is hey, my guide tube isn't exposed. I'm trying to do an immediate implant. On edentulous ridges, it's not really a factor, but it's really a factor on this kind of stuff. So if anybody wants me to do this again, I'll do this in real time in this front one. So I'm going to remove all 4 of these front teeth here. And so I'm going to run through, and I can do this all at the same time. So just get these close here. I'm just going to go through it. I'm just going to dig all 4 of these teeth out of here. Remember, I just do the outline of the teeth to get the tooth out of there first, and then we use the model, the outline function to edit it. So in a selective tooth case that you're doing a full arch, all you got to do is do this on all the teeth, leave 4 teeth to anchor your guide, delete these, and then create your guide. So I did the outside, I deleted them, I double-clicked, shift double-clicked the inside, deleted them. Now I've got this hole, I select the hole, close the selected hole.
Matt, now just walk around and have them show us how to do it.
Okay.
Now we just need
For those who didn't go through parts 1, 2, and 3, this is all building on stuff we've been through.
Yep. It's all building on single tooth and now taking it into a full arch world.